my team and I, in the Ministry of Finance, in the Economic Division, in the Indian Economic Service, in, the closer team CEA, it's been a fabulous 3.5, 4 years, almost 4 years by the time I leave, I think. So I only go back with the, I will go back with the happiest, best of memories of this tenure. In terms of all that we were able to do, there's been a lot of gratification. You all know it's all spelt out here. I just hope, whether you think of me as a good CA or a lousy CA, I hope you won't say that he was a lazy or an inactive CA. That much you cannot say against me. So thank you all for coming. I, of course, as I said, I have a certain vision of what this job is. The government, the Prime Minister, the government, all the senior ministers shared broadly this conception of the role, which is why, we were able to, try and do as much as we tried to do. And as I said, I will always be committed to serving the country at all times in the future. And I guess it's also a very emotional time. So thank you all for being here.
One. Let us start from this side. Okay. Yeah, let us start from. One question, at a time.
But when will you be quitting? Because you didn't say that. And the second thing is, of course, is you've had really a roller coaster ride here in the finance ministry. You've been very forthright in your things, as Arvind Jetty has pointed out, in GST, etc. But you also came under political attack from people like Mr. Subramanian and others. Looking back at it, isn't it something that you've been able to negate completely? Do you feel in retrospect that all this kind of targeting that you had, you stand vindicated after this entire all these episodes?
One complete coincidence is that this the announcement of the departure coincided with the piece I had in the GST today, which was a piece I'd like you all to read. It's very encouraging what's happening on GST revenues, not just for the centre but also the states, especially the net consuming states. It's a very heartening development, and given that GST was one of the things I had the privilege of being closely associated with, it's really wonderful to see this this major policy reform hopefully turning out to be very positive, as it's seeming to be going forward. In terms of the date, I told you that the hard deadline is early September, when the baby is going to arrive. Until we haven't exactly finalized. It'll be over the next month or two. No firm date has yet been fixed, so that's what. Now, in terms of I think that if you're in public office, you have to be both prepared to be forthright and be willing to take whatever the fallout or the consequences from that. And whether I've been validated or whether I've been able to successfully navigate this, it's for all of you to judge. I cannot say how well I've done it or not. That's for all of you to judge.
Sir, when you talk of your tenure here in last 4 years, what would be the 5 areas that you think people should remember you for? 5 key maybe issues or suggestions, or as you said, GST is one. What would be other 4?
Again, don't pin me down to anything. I have a list here which I'd like you to see. There have been so many things, exciting things, being associated with the GST, especially the run-up to the Constitution Amendment Bill. The economic surveys have been so gratifying in terms of just trying to elevate the quality of analysis that we do. I would also say that mentoring, building capacity in the Indian Economic Service has been very, very, especially all these youngsters who hang around me, who I hope won't desert me the day I leave. It's been very thing. No, and of course, diagnosing early the twin balance sheet challenge, the public investment strategy, and also, JAM, universal basic income, bad banks, stigmatized capitalism, carbon imperialism. I hope, I have to stop because otherwise it starts sounding like, I did much more than I actually did. So I don't want to sound too immodest. So I leave that to all of you to judge.
So just a small point of clarification.
Yeah.
Had you not put in, had you not decided to leave now, would your term would have gone on till September or co-terminus with the government next year, October?
See, I know my official contract was till May 2019. Yeah.
May 2019.
Yeah.
Have you met the PM after this?
I mean, nothing. The first person I mentioned this to was the Honorable PM. I mean, after consulting with Mr. Arvind Jaitley. Yeah. You can't. Please.
आपको लगता है कि आपके जाने के बाद इस पद पे, इस पोस्ट पे, इंडिया विद इन इंडिया कोई ऐसे शख्स है जिनको लाना चाहिए फिर बाहर से लाने की जरूरत?
See, I am not. I have a very simple answer. बहुत ही सरल जवाब है इसका जवाब. I told you पहली दिन मैंने बताया था मैं मद्रासी हूँ. सवाल बहुत आसान है. I think that for every job you should get the best person possible. That should be the criterion. Who's the best person for the job? I'm not saying I was. Maybe you should learn from the mistakes that maybe they made in choosing me. But I think it should be just competence. I think that's what the government believes in. That's what it should follow. Provenance, origin should be completely, what loyalty, whatever should all be second order. It's about merit and competence.